Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of A Road to Pro School. Lee Whittaker here at the Ashby Golf Resort. Now the last video was me putting to the test the 10.5 degree Sim 2 Max D against the 9 degree Sim 2 Max D which I had ordered in. And I decided to put the 9 degree head into the bag, and I put the shaft that it came in, which was the Pro-Force V2 7F4, which is 70 grams stiff. Now in this video what I want to do is I want to put some shafts to the test to make sure I've got the right shaft in this head. Definitely prefer this head over the 10.5. It goes further, it spins less, and actually on that test the dispersion was a little bit better. Now on that video a few of you commented saying, you know, you're always chasing distance and stuff. I'm not chasing distance, I just want to optimize what I've got. You know, if I was chasing distance, I'd be maxed out all the time. I'd be up near 120 mile an hour swing speed, where I'm not. I'm down at 110 to 114, which is where I feel comfortable swinging. But I want to optimize my conditions. I want to get the maximum that I can get from that swinging within myself. I don't want these high balloony 250 yard drives, because I can just hit a 3-wood or 2-iron that far. I want the driver to be a club that gets me to 280 to 300. Otherwise it's pointless having it in the bag for me, because I have other clubs that can go less than that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to put 4 shafts to the test. So I've got the Pro-Force V2 7F4, which is the 70 gram stiff. I've also got the 7F5, which is the 70 gram X stiff. I've also got the shaft that was in the 10.5 degree, which is the Hazardous Smoke RDX. It's a 70 gram 6.0, so it's a stiff shaft. And to top it off, I have the Tensai Blue AV Raw Series, the 60 gram X Flex. So I'm going to put all these 4 shafts to the test and see which one gives me the optimal, not just distance, but dispersion. It has to be the one that gives me the best of the two. If one goes 10 yards further, but it's like this, and another goes 10 yards less, but it's like this, it has to be the best balance of the two that is going to be the one that goes into the head. So I'm going to get quad on, open up the shutter, and then we're going to hit some balls with this. Now, there is going to be an announcement in the next probably week or 2 weeks with regards to my Road to Pro School, when it's happening, what's happening, and what I might possibly need you guys to help me with in order to achieve that. But that will come in a separate video, so do keep an eye out for that. And if you're not yet subscribed, please do so now so you don't miss that video coming forward. But let's get quad on, let's load up the hole, and let's get this driver working, hopefully. Okay, so I'm just going to hit a series of shots with each shaft. I won't show you every shot. We'll just skip through them, because otherwise it'll be a very long video. So we're going to start off with the 7F4, the shaft that was in it. This is 70 gram S Flex. Alright, last one with this. I have to say, it's going all over the place at the moment. Right, okay, so that's 6 shots with the F4. Let's switch the shaft out and see if any of the other 3 are better. Right, okay, so now we're into the 7F5. I will say the 7F4, the stiff version, hitting everything in the heel, as per my last video really. Need to try and get everything out of that heel, and that's body rotation. Right, so X stiff, 70 gram. Great start. Okay, 6 shots with the 7F5, which is the X stiff version. Switch it out again and see what the others do. Okay, so now we're putting in a shaft that I've been playing for ever since I've been playing the Sim 2 Max D, and that's the Hazardous Smoke 70 gram stiff. So this is the one I was playing with the 10.5 degree head. Feels pretty comfortable. I will say that X Flex has done pretty well, so it's gonna take some beating. Right, let's get some of these rattled off. Okay, this is a close one between the V-Force X-Stiff and this. This is producing, those last couple of shots were superb. I think this, I don't know, I'll see what the numbers say, but that felt superb. Right, okay, so the final shaft we're going to test is the Tensai Blue Raw. This is the lightest one at 60 grams, but it is an X-Flex. So let's give this one a try. Yeah, definitely feel the lightness. Would I pick up any speed? Do I want to pick up any speed? That's the question. However, shots like that are just perfect. Okay, so that's 6 with every shaft so far. I'm going to go into the data, put the comparison up, then we'll look on the screen and see what's the best one. Okay, I very stupidly didn't change the settings when I put the Tensai on it, and I didn't give it its own section. It came up on the hazardous one. So I've disabled those shots for the time being, and I'll bring them in a minute and disable this and then compare it in the way. But we've got the V2 7F4, which is a stiff, then the V2 X stiff and the Hazardous Smoke stiff so far. If we look at the launch and peak heights, we can see quite clearly that the stiff is just not the club for me. And I'm actually glad I've done this test now before I actually took it out on course and did it. And then the difference between the stiff and the hazardous is very, very close on this. Ball speed, the ball speed is a lot better off the X stiff V2 than it is off the hazardous, and then the V2 stiff is just so far down. Launch angles are pretty good, but the spin coming off of the Hazardous Smoke, and it's actually a low spin shaft, is really good. It's up in 2.5, but it can drop down a little bit, which is a bit worrying, but it's okay if I can control it. Then we go up to nearly 3 and down to 2.1. So spin wise, that's where I want it to be. But then if we look at the distance, then we've got 253 with a stiff, 279 with the X stiff, and then 283 with the hazardous. You can pretty much discount that straight away. Look at the dispersion circle here, massive. Then we go into the X stiff, standard deviation of 8, pretty not as good front to back, but then the Hazardous Smoke, 283, tighter standard deviation, and then this is the dispersion circle here, absolutely superb. What I like is the trend of the shots is all the same, and then the dispersion circles tighten up. Just going to put the Tensai in. So now I put the Tensai in, which is the lightest shaft, 60 gram X-Flex, ignore that. Ball speed 155, quite low launch, spin is ideal, 2.5, carry 271, but the standard deviation does fluctuate for 11 yards. A nice tight dispersion, but it is going left for me, and that's why I don't want it in there. So out of all of those, it's down to the V2 X stiff or the Hazardous Smoke stiff. So now only highlighting those two, the dispersion circle left to right is pretty similar. It's the front to back dispersion that is a little bit off with me, but the standard deviation, like that is zoomed in, is only 2 yards. It's a tough one for me because that's giving me more ball speed but more spin. Is that more controllable than less ball speed and less spin? I think this is one of those where I'm going to have to take both out on course and test it out there, but for the time being, for playing golf purposes, I think I'm going to put the Hazardous Smoke in because I'm used to it. So there we go, ladies and gents. These are the two shafts. So we've got the Proforce V2 7F5, which is the 70 gram X stiff, and then we've got the Hazardous Smoke RDX 70 gram stiff, which is the one I've been using for quite a while in the 10.5 degree head. For me, feel wise out of that test, it was really difficult between the two. I think this is just a little bit better, the RDX. So I'm going to put this in the head for the time being and go out and play with that and see how it feels out on the golf course, because it's okay in here. You know, it doesn't matter what I'm hitting off because I'm hitting off a tee, but there's no consequence. There's no left and right things in the way, trees, let's be honest. I do like the idea of playing this one, mainly because it's yellow and it looks cool. But if this one's going to perform better, then I need to be putting this one in the bag. So for the time being, that's going in. That's on backup as a possibility, and I will go out in a couple of practice rounds with possibly both shafts and play them both at the same time and just see what happens and see which one feels better and performs better actually out on course. But I'd love to know what you think. So do comment down below after seeing that test, which one do you think is the best shaft for me? Quite clearly, if I'd have kept the 7F4, the stiff shaft in and gone and played with that, I'd have come off the golf course extremely disappointed, probably spent a lot of 3 off the tees and put that straight back in the bag and got the 2-iron out and just played sensible golf really. Whereas with these in the bag, or with these in the head, so to say, there's just more options and more possibility of finding those fairways, finding quite a bit of distance in those fairways as well. So comment down below, let me know what you think. I love hearing your comments, and I do come out here and put them to the test. You know, I'm happy that people give me advice and I'll put it to the test. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does work, it does work. Like someone said, you know, try playing with a fade. I'll make a video of it, but I think that'll be a difficult transition from a draw player to a fade player, but we'll give it a go, put it to the test and see which one performs the best. Anyway, I hope you've liked this video, and if you have liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up by clicking the thumb up icon down below. Also, if you are new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button and do hit the bell notification. Like I said, I'm hopefully got a massive announcement coming with regards to my Road to Pro School within the next week or two, and something I'm really going to need your help with. Something I said I probably wouldn't do, but I'm probably going to need your help with. So I will be asking that at the same time. But for the time being, I'm going to leave this video here, and I'll see you all on the next video.